You'll notice my affiliation, even with Heritage, is with a center that involves civil society, culture, and opportunity. And it seems like a mixed bag, but more and more researchers are finding how these are all blended together. Opportunity requires a culture behind it to make the most of the opportunities. You have to have that mindset, and marriage and family are inextricably linked to economic status and the chance of upward mobility. So all those things are intertwined. And of course, civil society, the family is really the foundation, the first school of love. You learn from the love you experience with your parents and your siblings, and the love that parents give to their children. Those kind of three loves are applied again and again in every relationship you ever go in the country or in the world. So that's what makes a strong civil society, families that can pass on the ability to accomplish those kinds of love. So the Heritage Foundation very kindly sent me with some of their publications that are available just to take on the back, and I'm going to reference a couple of them in this too. So my angel, Kim, helped me with this last night. I hope I can do it okay. When you talk about the family, there's three major questions that we can consider. What's happening? This is the family in America, since this culture is the family in American renewal. What's happening doesn't matter. Why? What are the trends, and do they matter? And then if they do matter and they're not good, what can be done? This is one of the resources that's available. It's an index of culture and opportunity. It's a blend of commentary by noted scholars throughout the country and charts that show demographic and behavioral trends. This is another resource the Heritage Foundation produced. It's a database with over 3,000 separate findings from 20 years of sociological research. And it offers different topics such as family and opportunity, marriage, teen sexual behavior. You can see the topics, and then go to any product type. We have 4 different product types. The first is charts, so you can see if you wanted charts on marriage and the family, there are probably 2 or 3 pages of charts. Or if you're looking for briefs, these are like top 10 of the 3,000 family findings, sociological findings, to deal with a specific topic that you're looking for. And then we have longer reports there too, in-depth reports by scholars that have worked with us. And we have videos. Based on the charts and the reports, we do little small video clips that kind of bring home these messages. You know, religious practice matters to teens, families get an A+, and preparing their kids for academic success. So here's question number 1, what is happening? And this is a big deal. This is the decline in marriage rates in the country since 1970 to today, complete nosedive in marriage and family formation. At the same time, the rising rates of kids born out of wedlock. This breaks them up by different groups, but startlingly, 40%, almost half of all kids today are born outside of marriage. And for some ethnic groups, this is high as over 70%. So 7 out of 10 kids on a playground will not go back to an intact family. This is research done by Brad Wilcox of the National Family Marriage Project at the University of Virginia. And he put out a publication called Not Yet, K-N-O-T, people don't tie the knot, showing that the rates of first marriage are getting higher and higher ages. People are older and older as they marry. They're also older and older as they're having their first child, but that's not raising quite as much as the age at first marriage. So what that translates to is out of wedlock births. They're having the kids before they get married. Then he dove into that and unpacked it and came up with some unsettling information that this delay, this spark in out-of-wedlock births is occurring in certain cohorts of education. The top one, I don't know if you can see, but it shows up on top is first birth in the top chart, and just below it, trending, is age at marriage. And so for people, these are for people with a college education, they're tending to wait to have kids. They see marriage as a capstone, they're putting it off, they're doing their career first, and then they're having kids, so they're kind of okay. The next one is less than a high school education, and this is where most of the out-of-wedlock births are coming. They're having the children first, maybe because they don't have that vision of a capstone, and it's out of reach for them, this whole career thing, and so they end up fulfilling their need for family before they get married, and ditto for those with not quite a college education, a little more than high school education. So in America, in case you haven't read it, there's this cultural gap, and this is contributing to this drift, because these birth certificates or data and marriage data show how these cohorts of high education and low education are splitting and splitting. So why does that matter if marriage rates are going down and out-of-wedlock rates are growing? Why should we care? First of all, if people got married, it drops the likelihood that a child will be in poverty by 80%. With family and adolescent well-being, research has shown that teens in intact families are less likely to do drugs, to be sexually active themselves, to have children out of wedlock themselves. So the intact family is like a launch pad for these adolescents to enter adulthood. Same for other ages of children. Says there's higher academic achievement for kids in intact family. A lot of this is also related to the fact that parental involvement is related to kids' education and success. And so with just one parent in the house, there's less parental involvement too. So it's really stacking the deck against these kids who are born in a lower income household, don't have the investment, are more likely to stay where they are in the lower income brackets or in poverty. Family structure and kids' education, statistics show that everything from preschool preparation, cognitive development, to middle school or math and reading skills, to the likelihood that they'll graduate from college or that they'll pursue higher education, all of that is related likelihood much, much better for kids in intact families with two parents. This is teen sexual behavior. I might have mentioned that with the adolescents, that they're much more likely to actually get engaged not only with sexually, but high-risk activities like substance abuse, and just kind of further stacking the deck against their success and fulfillment in life. So given all that, what can be done? Because I work with a policy institute, there are a number. We came out with a document called the Marshall Plan for Marriage, like a whole holistic plan, the way policy could support marriage. Everything from there's a marriage disincentive built into welfare now, sadly enough, because marriage is a stepping stone out of poverty and out of dependency. But a lot of women on welfare know if they get married to a wage-earning husband, their benefits are going to be either cut or terminated. So however well-intentioned it was, the effect is that there are a lot of out-of-wedlock kids being born to women in poverty. And so changes in policy like that could make a difference. And An investment in maybe marriage counseling, knowing that people whose marriages are about to dissolve could be saved, with the right resources. There was a study called Fragile Families, and it showed a lot of couples were right at this delicate, at the time of the first birth of their first child. They're in a kind of halo of opportunity where they could get married, and maybe with the proper support and encouragement, they would do that. This is the policy recommendation that policy could support a campaign to change culture. But also people right here involved, my fellow panelists, are doing a lot on the grassroots and community level, probably even more powerfully, to make a difference and to promote marriage. And I remember Wade Horn, he used to be with HHS, once said when he made a presentation, if you don't think the public awareness campaign, might not make a dent, he referenced what it did to smoking and littering. Like in the 1950s, people would think nothing of throwing a can out their car. Everybody did it. But now if you see someone littering, it's like they're ostracized even. So that kind of awareness, smoking too, I Love Lucy used to smoke, but because of public awareness, people know to change their behavior now. So this is just a little tribute to Patrick Patterson. The last thing is, families provide a foundation for the healthy, prosperous individuals in society. This is available. As marriage goes, so goes the American dream. It's in the Index of Opportunity. This is exactly what we're talking about at this conference, American Renewal and the American Dream. And so families really are the tipping point of the destiny of that, and it's available in the back too.